Good morning and Sairam to all the students. Welcome back in your English online class. So, students, as in our previous session, we had covered one poem, A Night in the June. And that poem, I told you about the author as well as we learnt or we understood about the central idea of the poem. So today in this session I'm going to tell you the rhyming scheme of the poem and figure of speech. Let's do a small recall about the poem and the poet. So as I told you that this poem, A Night in June, written by William Wordsworth. Now everybody knows about the William Wordsworth. He was born on 1770 and died on 1850. He was a very famous English British poet. His father was a lawyer by profession, but he was motivated by his teacher, and after that motivation he wrote wonderful poems, and that poems also appreciated by his teacher. Poem A Night in June, central idea is men's anxiety. So today in this session I'm going to tell you a summary, and meanwhile we will discuss about the poem once again in brief. So here is a summary of the poem, and meanwhile you see the summary, I'm also going to tell you about the poem. So in this poem the writer written this in the month of June. As everybody knows that month of June means summertime, and during the summertime the sun sets quite late. So the writer has written the transition of the evening to night very beautifully. He was very much fascinated and mesmerizing with the beauty of the evening, and he has explained that beauty in the poem or entire poem very beautifully. During his explanation, he has written many things about that evening time. Basically, whatever he has experienced during the transition of evening to night, he just wrote everything in the poem. He said he could listen the voice of cuckoo, thrushes, he could listen to the birds, sound of wind, he also could listen the sound of water. According to him, cuckoo is crying because of the emptiness of the sky. And also he noticed that there is no human activity. Though he was enjoying the nature, the environmental beauty very much, but at the same time he was also thinking, what if human being does not care about this beautiful nature? What will happen if the human being show the fake care regarding the nature? So this was the men's anxiety, which shows clearly in the lines of the poet. So this is a small brief summary about the poem. As I told you, we will discuss about the figure of speech in the poem. So first of all, I'll tell you about the figure of speech. So here, figure of speech. What is figure of speech? Why it is necessary? As if you fill the colors in the painting looks more beautiful. Same way, if we use a figure of speech in our writing becomes more beautiful and effective. So a word or expression used not with its original meaning but in an imaginative way to make a special effect. Generally, we use figure of speech in poems. Here we'll talk about personification. What is personification? When we give a, or we can say when we give any non-living thing, or we consider any non-living thing as a living thing, so we can say here it is a personification. So a personification gives human qualities to object or plants and animals. Basically, a human qualities to a non-living thing to make literary description more vivid and dramatic. Like in this poem, the poet used this figure of speech personification to give the vividness to this poem. So here I am giving you two examples. Here the wind whispered to the flower. Generally whispered, a human being can whisper it only. So here we will give a personification to the wind. The wind softly kissed her cheek. So here wind, we have given personification to the wind, means wind is a non-living thing, but we assume a wind as a human being. Now let's see from the poem that how the poet used this figure of speech in the poem. So here some lines from the poem. I'm going to read the lines for you first of all. On such a night of June, with that beautiful soft half moon, and all this innocent bliss, on such a night as this is. So on such a night of June, with that beautiful half moon, soft half moon. Now here we have personification. How? Because here the poet given or telling about the quality of a half moon, beautiful and soft. Basically we are using these words for human being, and innocent bliss about night. So here what poet has given? So half moon given a personification of beautiful soft, as beautiful soft, and innocent bliss to night, as they are not a human being, but the poet is assuming these night and half moon as a human being. So what he is trying to say, that half moon is beautiful soft and the night is so innocent. By using this figure of speech, poet wants to give a beauty to the words or lines. Now two more lines. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes, and a far off wind that rushes. So here again what a poet does, he has given personification to wind by saying a far off wind that rushes, that the wind is blowing, the wind is moving like a human being. So there's a cuckoo and two thrushes and a far off wind that rushes. So I hope you understand the meaning of the personification. A personification gives human qualities to object or plants and animals to make literary description more vivid and dramatic. So here we have two examples out from the poem. The wind whispered to the flower, the wind softly kissed her cheek. And two examples from our poem. Now one more figure of speech is there in the poem, that is alliteration. Alliteration, when we have a repetition of any consonant. Everybody knows we have 5 vowels and rest of the alphabets are consonant. So now if you see this 2 lines properly, you can observe that here a consonant is repeating twice. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos and threes. I am repeating. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos and threes. Now twos, twos, t, threes, t. So here which consonant is repeating? T. So here twos and threes, alliteration. Which figure of speech is here? Alliteration. Okay. So when you can observe the alliteration? When there is a repetition of any consonant. So this is alliteration. I hope you understand these 2 figure of speech in this poem. Now everybody knows about the rhyming scheme. We had already covered in our previous poems also. So before going through the rhyming scheme, let's see the poem. The sun has long been set. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos and threes. The stars are out by twos and threes. The little birds are peeping yet. The little birds are peeping yet among the bushes and trees. Among the bushes and trees. There's a cuckoo and 1 or 2 thrushes. There's a cuckoo and 1 or 2 thrushes, and the far off wind that rushes, and the far off wind that rushes, and the sound of water that gushes, and the sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo soldier cry fill all the hollow of the sky. Who would go parading in London and masquerading? Who would go parading in London and masquerading on such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon? On such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon. And all this innocent bliss on such a night as this is. So this is our poem. Now we are going to find out the rhyming scheme in our poem. So as I already told you, the rhyming scheme is just a pattern of the rhyming words. What is rhyming scheme? A pattern of rhyming words. Now let's see a rhyming scheme. So first 4 lines. The sun has long been set. So here the sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos and threes. The little birds are peeping yet among the bushes and trees. Now here set. We have the last word set, trees, set, trees, yet, trees. Now set. As everybody know, we have given set A, as we are starting with the A. Now set and trees are not rhyming word, so we'll give trees B. Now yet. Now set and yet is a rhyming word. So what is in front of set? A. So it means yet is also A. And last trees. Now trees and trees B. So what will be the rhyming scheme here? AB, AB. Now and rhyming words set yet, trees, trees. What will be the rhyming scheme, student? AB, AB, and rhyming words set yet, trees, trees. Now let's take another lines. I hope you understand this. Okay. So now my another lines are these. Let's read this line. There's a cuckoo and 1 or 2 thrushes, and the far off wind that rushes, and the sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo's cry fill all the hollow of the sky. Now let's do a rhyming scheme here. So we have already done AB. So let's start with the C. So here thrushes we are giving. First of all, we are underlining the last words. Now read thrushes, C. Now rushes. So thrushes, rushes, thrushes, rushes. Rhyming words, so it means second line also C. Gushes. Now thrushes, rushes, gushes. Rhyming words C. Now cry. Thrushes, gushes, gushes, cry. Gushes, cry, not rhyming with each other. So what we will give? D. Now cry, sky. Cry, sky. Rhyming words. So again this we will give D. So what is the rhyming scheme here? C, 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 D, D. This is the rhyming scheme. What is the rhyming scheme here? C, 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 D, D. And what is the rhyming word? Thrushes, rushes, gushes. Of one set of rhyming words, cry, sky. The second set of rhyming word, thrushes, rushes, gushes. First set, cry, sky. Second set. So now you can easily do the rhyming of the poem. Now let's see what are the words. Now parading, masquerading. Parading, masquerading. So these are the rhyming words. Now try to do the rhyming scheme yourself, and I hope you will do easily. Like parading, masquerading, these are the rhyming words. So by this you can make a rhyming scheme also. So students, this is the rhyming scheme, how you can do the rhyming scheme along with the rhyming words. Now in this chapter we understood two more important things, personification and alliteration. This, and what are these? These are the figure of speech. So now what you are going to do, you are going to underline the difficult word from the poem, try to find out the word from the dictionary, and also write all the rhyming words in your rough notebook. And along with this, I am sending you one worksheet also, which you have to fill and submit online only. Don't do that worksheet in the notebook. Only PDF work you have to do in your fair notebook. So in the next session we will meet with the new chapter, and this poem is finished in this session. Read the poem and learn the poem. Try to find out more about William Wordsworth from the Google. Thank you.